Welcome to this explainer. We're diving straight into a massive, frankly dramatic shift happening in the tech world right now. I'm talking about the sudden pivot from unchecked AI spending to strict, strategic enterprise cost management. If you've been following generative AI, you know it's been an absolute gold rush. For the last couple of years, enterprise leaders were totally driven by FOMO, throwing billions at large language models. They wanted AI integrated into absolutely everything. Yesterday, completely ignoring the price tag. But, well, every gold rush eventually meets the cold, hard reality of accounting, right? So today, we're mapping out exactly how this is unfolding and what it actually means for the future of tech infrastructure. Let's get into it.
So we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. For the past 2 years, companies were essentially just throwing money at AI. It was literally an all-you-can-eat buffet of compute power. Engineering teams got a blank check to experiment, build, and deploy. But make no mistake, that era, it just ended. The AI spending party is officially over. Enterprises globally are hitting the brakes hard, shifting away from limitless exploration to a mindset of really rigorous, strict cost control.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the Wild West of AI spending.
This reckless strategy of using the absolute biggest, most powerful AI models for every single little task is exactly what fueled those explosive revenues for the major AI labs lately. Enterprises just weren't checking the tap. And there's a perfect industry term for this mentality: token maxing. It's essentially the practice of maximizing AI token usage on automated tasks without giving a second thought to the final bill. It was all about raw speed and rapid deployment, letting those astronomical costs fall wherever they may. Seriously, if you've ever accidentally left a heavy-duty cloud server running over a long weekend and woken up to a horrifying bill, imagine doing that on purpose, at a global enterprise scale. That is token maxing in a nutshell.
Moving on to Section 2, the AI budget hangover.
Naturally, all that unchecked spending led to a massive hangover. You just can't ignore the math forever. Companies woke up, looked at their balance sheets, and realized just how much cash was flying out the door. Take one large ride-hailing company, for example. Their tech team actually burned through an entire 12-month AI budget in just 4 short months. How? Because they let their systems default to the most expensive, premium AI models for basic stuff, like summarizing 2-sentence internal emails or routing incredibly simple customer service tickets. They drained the tank completely, leaving absolutely zero budget for the remaining 8 months of the year. Just imagine being the tech officer trying to explain that oversight to finance.
In a total panic to stop the bleeding, management at that company dropped the hammer. They went from endless, unmonitored millions to introducing a strict cap of exactly $1,500 per employee every single month, no exceptions. If you're an engineer or a product manager needing just one more dime to test a feature, you now have to jump through massive administrative hoops to get explicit approval. The days of endless swiping on the corporate card are definitively gone.
Now, another way to handle this crisis, instead of just capping spend, is what one mid-sized AI startup did. They've fundamentally changed their whole toolset. They completely ditched the high-cost premium frontier models and moved their entire production workload to a significantly cheaper open-weight alternative. And guess what? Their operational costs collapsed almost overnight. Yeah, they had to accept some real trade-offs in built-in safety tooling and enterprise support, but for them, saving their business model and restoring profit margins made the switch absolutely worth it.
All right, Section 3, the advisor approach.
This brings us to a really elegant, tech-driven solution that's gaining massive traction across the enterprise landscape. We've seen blunt instruments like strict budget caps or totally swapping out systems, but the industry is getting smarter. The underlying fix here is called model routing, or sometimes the advisor approach. Think of it this way. You wouldn't call the CEO directly just to order more printer paper, right? That would be an absurd waste of highly paid time. You'd route that to the office manager. It's the exact same logic for AI. Cheap, efficient models should handle the everyday automated tasks. Then, only the specific work that truly requires frontier-level reasoning gets escalated to the expensive premium models. You simply don't need a supercomputer to summarize a 5-word email.
Let's actually break down how this invisible triage works under the hood. So, an everyday task comes in from a user. Immediately, an automated router model evaluates the complexity of that prompt in milliseconds. If it's simple, it seamlessly directs the task to a lightning-fast, cheap model. But if the router detects complex logic, deep coding, or heavy reasoning, it dynamically reroutes that specific query to the premium model. This ensures you only pay for high-end brainpower when the task actually demands it. And the best part? It completely automates cost savings without the end user ever noticing a drop in quality.
The financial impact of doing this is just staggering. By implementing intelligent routing, Industry analysts estimate you can cut your effective per-token costs by an unbelievable 70 to 90% for typical enterprise workflows. Put that into perspective for a second. If your company is spending $1 million a month on AI compute, this strategy just handed you back up to $900,000 in savings. That is margin-restoring, game-changing efficiency, especially since, right now, the vast majority of enterprise usage still blindly defaults to running exclusively on premium models.
And that leads us into Section 4, the next AI battlefield.
This shift isn't just changing how enterprises buy AI, it's fundamentally altering how the big AI labs have to sell it. The battlefield is shifting so rapidly. For the past 2 years, there was this absolute obsession with raw model power, everyone fighting over who had the smartest, biggest AI. Today, as we've talked about, we're deep in the era of strict budget caps and massive financial reckonings. But looking ahead to the next 2 quarters, it's all about infrastructure. Routing infrastructure, not just raw power, is going to be the definitive competitive edge for any company deploying AI at scale.
To put it simply, if you're investing in AI or building enterprise tools right now, the ultimate hurdle is overcoming that default premium usage. The labs and startups that make switching between cheap and premium models completely effortless for their clients, those are the ones poised to win the next massive wave of enterprise contracts. They have to make this advisor approach an invisible, seamless part of their core product offerings. Because at the end of the day, the customer just wants the right answer at the right price. They definitely don't want to manually select which AI model to use for every single prompt.
So, I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder. As the era of unchecked token maxing and wild spending officially comes to an end, will the ultimate winners in the tech space just be the ones building bigger, more expensive AI brains, or will the true conquerors of the enterprise market be the ones building better traffic cops to intelligently route the work? Thank you for joining me for this explainer. I hope diving into these concepts help clarify exactly where industry infrastructure is heading next. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.